Hey, and welcome to episode 2 of the Viral Nation. This week's show, we're going to hear from Chris Howell as he gets ready for Supercross 2021. We're going to talk a little bit about Supercross, what's coming up for the new year. And we're going to go into what our goggle of the week. We're going to talk a little bit about lens changing and a little bit more. So stay tuned for episode 2 of the Viral Nation.
Wake up at 5 a.m. Gotta be at the track at 10. It's time to ride. All of this anticipation to ride in the Viral Nation.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for tuning in to episode 2 of the Viral Nation. We are excited to have you back with us today and wanted to just kind of give you a huge thank you for those that watched the first episode as we're getting this thing off the ground. We had a few issues. I was a little see-through in our first one, but that's okay. I think we got that worked out here in episode 2. And as we go along, we are going to keep trying to bring good quality content about Viral Brand, about our goggles, about things that'll help you with our goggles. We're going to answer questions if you have any, not live, but if you write in prior to the show. And I really want to thank all the great feedback, all the great comments, all the likes, and all the suggestions. Those are all things that really help us as we're getting our show off the ground. So in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Supercross. And, the 2020 year was a very interesting year. We had half of it or part of it was done on the non-COVID side. And then the other half was done to end the series was done under COVID. And obviously Tomac getting the number 1 plate this year. Pretty excited to see what's going to happen with Tomac. The 450 class is by far the most stacked class that is out there. You've got Barcia and Tomac, Cicerillo, Webb, Ferris, Osborne, and Roxon. Those are just the guys that I think could win at any time. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know a little bit more about you. And before we get too far along, hey guys, don't forget, we need you to subscribe to our channel. The more people that subscribe, the easier it is for us to get the information out to you. You can then share it with your friends. You can help other people become part of the Viral Nation, and we really appreciate it. So don't forget to, I think it's right about here. Just go ahead and click the button right here, right. Oh, well, I can't quite get to it, but right maybe over here. There we go. But go ahead and click the subscribe button. Subscribe right now, and we really appreciate that from you guys. Tomac taking the number 1 plate last year was a pretty good deal because it took him quite a while, 3-4 years to really put it all together. He's been dominant. I think the last 2 years prior to the championship, he dominated every season with the most wins, but couldn't actually put the whole thing together. And even against Dungey, who was an awesome champion, always super consistent, he took it all the way to the last round. This year, hopefully, we're going to see him come out of the gate swinging. And, being a Cowie guy, I like the Cowie riders. So I'm pretty excited to see Tomac and see if he can repeat. But I think he's going to have a lot of competition from Cicerillo this year. And, Cicerillo showed brilliance last year, still had some problems falling down, and really hope that he's able to kind of put together a little more consistent season going into his sophomore year. But kind of the guy that I'm probably most excited to see is going to be Bam Bam. Barcia going to a new team. They've kind of built the team around him. He had, huge success with Yamaha. He basically kind of getting his career restarted again. But, coming off the Yamaha, getting onto the new gas motorcycle, he looks really good on that bike. So it'll be really interesting to see how the year starts out. If he's going to be like he has been the last few years, moments of brilliance with a bunch of bad races, or is he going to be able to be super consistent the entire season and actually race for a championship. It would be pretty interesting to see a gas win a Supercross championship. And I think Bam Bam could do it on the outside. I mean, I wouldn't put a ton of money on it just for the fact that he has a tendency to have bad races. But, he can be pretty consistent at times, and he's extremely fast. Don't ever count out Webb. Webb has been one of the guys out there forever that your last few years since going to KTM, he has been a force. Last year he had some issues. I think he might have, I don't know if he got COVID but he was sick and he was dealing with that. And so, kind of derailed him early on. Fernandez is going to be in the 450 ranks this year. We saw him on a 250F. We know he's a hard rider. It'll be really cool to see him mixing it up with the guys in his freshman year in the 450 class. Osborne, coming off of the Outdoor National Championship, should be incredibly tough. So that'll be cool. And of course, you saw what he did at the end of the season in Supercross as well. And then Roxon, man. I mean, all these riders, Roxon coming off all of those injuries, he started getting some consistency. We saw him up front a ton. I still would love to see, just for the entire circle of the story, for him to end with I wouldn't say end, but to get to the pinnacle, which is to have a championship. And I think that would just be kind of a really, really cool deal. Supercross in the 250 class, I'm just not as excited about the 250 class. I'm excited to watch the Lawrence brothers. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Cooper, I think he's going to be a lot of fun. Christian Craig's always amazing to watch, and he's super fast. But I'll be honest with you, the 250 class, we'll see. Let's just put it this way. I'm just going to put it out there. We'll just see what it is. Hopefully it'll be fun to watch. But I'm pretty sure the 450 class is going to be the class we're really going to want to watch. Chris Howell is going to be our 2021 Supercross rider. We supported Chris last year. Some big changes have come down the pike for Chris Howell. He's going to be riding 450 on the East Coast rounds. He'll be riding 250 on the West Coast rounds. And he'll be riding basically the entire series. So I think he'll miss one or two rounds. We'll talk to Chris here in just a moment, and he can explain to you a little bit about last year's series and then a little bit more about what's going on in 2021. He's had some big changes, and we're super excited to announce that Chris will be with us, or not announce, but to have Chris back with us for 2021. So without further ado, let's go over and we had a pre-recorded interview with Chris prior to him leaving for Texas, as he had to leave early this week to get down there, get some more testing in, and get ready for round one, which is this weekend in Houston, Texas. So without further ado, let's go over to our pre-recorded interview with Chris Howell. We're here with Chris Howell. Chris Howell is going to be competing in the Supercross series this year. Chris has been racing for Viral Brand now for a little over a year, and raced all the 2020 season for us. And going into this year, the series is kind of up in the air, man. How are things going, getting ready for the new year?
Yeah, it's good. The series definitely is up in the air. Don't really quite know what's going on. I know we have 3 rounds in Houston, and then they're doing 3 rounds a week. So it's kind of totally different. So I do a race on Saturday, then Tuesday, then Saturday in one venue, and then we go to a different venue, and then do the same thing basically. So it's totally different. It's kind of interesting. It's fast paced. It's going to be fun, I think. So, and the training's been going good. It's just we didn't know the series schedule until I think beginning of November. So it's kind of super late to really know what was going on. So they kind of let that out, and then they updated the schedule like a couple weeks ago because they changed everything around. And so it's just everything's just been up the air, just trying to be ready for what's about to happen.
It's been kind of obviously 2020 was definitely a crazy year, and
yeah, for sure.
You had a chance to do some riding. So tell us a little bit about last year. Obviously you got a chance to race in the stadiums with nobody in there. I mean, it was like a glorified press day.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. So like, luckily the West Coast got most of their races done. We did 6 before COVID whole thing started, and then like you said, the last 3 I believe we did was in Salt Lake, and that was no fans, no nothing. So it was definitely it was interesting for sure. It was kind of weird racing in front of everybody. I mean, lack of everybody because there was no one in the stands, but it was interesting because you could hear all the flaggers talking. So when you're sitting on the line, and it's just totally different vibe. But I mean, once the gate dropped, I mean, racing was racing. I didn't really notice anything different. Even when I'm racing in the stadium with all the fans, I don't really hear too much when I'm riding, unless something major happens and you hear the crowd cheer. But for the most part, I don't really notice the fans during the races.
So last year, A1, you had a heck of a heat race going on, and then ended up missing the main out of the heat race. Had to go to the LCQ. We've talked about the LCQ last year. So walk us through that a little bit. I mean, what's it like to be one spot out and knowing that if you don't make that pass, you're going home for the night?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a position I want to be in. So, but no, it was definitely, that race was pretty good. I was good through the whoops, so I'd catch them and then try to make a little bit of pass or something like that and just loosen spots. So then I'd catch them again and I'd be on them. And then the last lap came out, I was like, man, like I got to make it happen in the whoops. And like I made some mistakes and I was pretty far back. So I caught him in both whoop sections and I was on him like pretty close going to the last couple corners. And then his last corner was like, well, it's either now or never. So we went in. I was like, my thought was either I make it to the main or neither of us makes it to the main. So, I mean, and luckily, and I made the pass and it worked out well for me. And I watched the replay and it was actually a lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be, but it turned out pretty good for my part.
Yeah. It was awesome. Viral Brand actually used some of that video clip in some of our dealer videos, just as far as, showing that pass. It was such a great, that's probably one of the best things about motocross in general is the fact that you get a chance to go out there and winners go, losers leave, right?
Yep.
And that last spot is always it's so much fun to watch that part of it. So tell us a little bit. It is intense, and it's pretty cool. You've been doing this a long time now. Yeah, I was sitting around thinking about this. This is what, your 11th year, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's definitely been doing it a while and learned a lot along the way, and so it's definitely been at it for a while.
So what keeps you going? What makes you go back each and every year to keep competing?
I don't know. I love it. I love racing. I think it's fun, and Supercross is fun, and it's what I like to do. So I might as well try to keep it doing as long as I can,
Awesome. And how you feel? You said you kind of started off with feeling good this year. What's new about your program this year?
Yeah, totally different bike. So I switched to Cowies, so that's totally new, and I'm excited. And I'm planning on doing 450 East, and then 250 West is the plan right now. The only rounds I'm planning on missing, it will be Indy. I won't be doing Indy 450 because I'm going to come back here and try to get everything dialed on the 250. And so, but I should be out of every other round besides Indy.
Okay, and you'll be riding a 450 on the 450 rounds?
Yep. Oh yeah, 450 on the 450 rounds and 250 on the 250 rounds.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the Cowie. I mean, what made you switch?
The Huskies were good. I was on them for like 5 years and I just kind of wanted to change. Just wanted to change some stuff up and freshen everything up on my program and just get something new and exciting. And rode a few bikes over the summer and I jumped on the Cowie and the Cowie 450 and I just automatically felt comfortable on it. It felt really good. It had a good engine, handles well, and I was just super pumped on it. So ended up trying to go that direction and have a good dealership in Spokane, Washington. Westside Motorsports really helping me out a lot this year, and they stepped up a ton, and I can't thank them enough. And it's been good. I'm excited.
Good. I like hearing Northwest businesses helping out Northwest riders. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about, so now, obviously this podcast or this video thing we're doing, this is episode 2, and it's really designed about Viral Brand and the Viral Brand. So you came to us last year. You came from other brands of goggles. How's your experience been so far with Viral Brand?
Dude, Viral Brand's been awesome. Like you said, I've worn a bunch of different goggles throughout my career, and Viral Brand's right up there with the best of them. I really like it. They're super comfortable. They fit really good on my face. Like I have a good seal, which is something that's very critical for me. I don't like dirt getting in my goggles or anything like that. So a good seal on my face is critical. And Viral Brand is awesome. I love the way they fit, and just everything about them has been good. And I like working with you guys. You guys are a Northwest company, so it just works out good.
Yeah, back Northwest, helping out the Northwest.
Exactly.
All right, so that was a shameless plug, which I like. Thanks, Chris. I'll slide you some cash here in a little bit. So tell us a little bit about the Supercross. A lot of people that watch Supercross never get an opportunity to actually race Supercross. So tell us a little bit about, how does that day, and I guess what I'd like to know is how did that day work out, from the standpoint of pre-COVID, right,
Hmm.
to how it is today. So like, what was a typical day for Chris Howell last year before COVID hit?
So usually, like, we show up at the race. We probably get there around like 9 o'clock, and then make sure everything's set up, unload, make sure the bike's good, take it through tech. After you go through tech, we double check everything, make sure everything's good for the practice that starts around like 12:30. Around 11 o'clock, we go down through the tunnel, we walk the track, and then we sit there, listen to riders meeting, and then come back up, start practice at like 12:30. Then we have one round of 8-minute practice, come back, change anything on the bike if I want to change anything, go back down, do a 10-minute time practice, which is your first time practice. Got to put down a fast lap to get in the night show, come back, have a little bit longer break, and then you have a second 10-minute time practice to hopefully better your time. And then after that, you come back and either you're top 40 in times or you're not. If you're top 40, you go to the night show. And the night show starts around 7 most of the time. So we come back, get everything ready, clean the bike up, pretty much make sure everything's good, tire pressure, all that fun stuff. Go down to the night show, hang in the tunnel for a bit, opening ceremony is going on. Go line up for the heat race, either your heat 1, heat 2, depending on how you qualify. Evens go to heat 1 and odds go to heat 2. So it just depends on how you qualify. So go through heat races, top 9 event makes it to the main event. And then, or top 9 in the heat race makes it to the main event. And then if you don't get top 9, you go to the LCQ. Got to be top 4 in that. Then you come back, do your main event. And then that's pretty much the end of the night. And then what's on all that during the practices, you have the fans coming in because the fan fest and everything was pretty big. A lot of people come by, sign autographs, all that fun stuff. So that was all pre-COVID stuff, which is the way I prefer it.
So that's when you have everything set up. You got your pits set up, you got your crowd barriers in the way, you got your all that kind of stuff. So going into COVID, did the teams do all that stuff, or was it just kind of like, I know what it's like after the races, where everything's kind of
So like I put my easy up. I didn't put any of my skirts or anything up because no one was going to come by and see it, and there's no one I need to keep out pretty much. But most of the factory teams all did put all their awnings up. I think it was just mostly because they wanted to keep their program tight. They didn't want anyone coming in as easily, even though you're not supposed to go into other people's pits. But a lot of them just want to keep their borders closed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally makes sense.
But yeah, so I just left my easy up. I didn't put the skirts up. I didn't need to. Like I said, no one was coming around because everyone just kept their own stuff. And but it was definitely different. During COVID, the racing was all the same. We had practice, we had all that stuff, so that part was all the same. But it was just definitely a different thing without any fans around. Definitely more low key. It was just kind of hanging out, kind of like more of a local race. You just go do your moto, come back, hang out, make sure everything's good, go back, do it again. It was just
so what does Feld have you guys doing this year for 2021 that's COVID related? I know last year at the end they had you doing COVID testing prior to the events. Everyone had to mask up. What's it looking like for 2021?
Yeah, so last year going to Salt Lake, we had to get tested. So if you go to Salt Lake, you had to get tested one time, and then that test was good for the whole time you're in Salt Lake. If you left the state, you had to get tested again. But this year, we have to get tested once every week. So let's say we have a city like in Houston, we'll race Tuesday, Saturday. We have to get tested prior to the first race on Saturday. So like Friday, we'll get tested then. And that test is good for a week. So that's good for the first Saturday race and the Tuesday race. But we still have to get tested again for the second Saturday race.
Oh, wow.
So we get tested twice a week, and we still have to wear masks and all that stuff. The bad thing about it is like now this year, last year the COVID tests were paid by Feld, but this year they're passing it on to the riders. So now each test is $75 a test, and everyone in your group has to get tested. So your rider, mechanic, everybody. So it definitely adds up a little bit more.
Yeah,
yeah, and then on top of that, we'll still have to wear masks, I believe, everywhere we go. As far as like when we're in the facility and whatnot, we'll have to wear masks. In our pits, we'll have to wear masks. And I think they're having some sort of fan fest. I don't know exactly what that's going to entail,
Okay.
because I think they're having that, but I don't know if they're how close the fans can get to the riders. I don't think they're going to let them come to the riders. I think they can walk around the pitch a little bit, like in designated areas, and pick up some pre-signed posters. Is kind of what I've heard, but I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
And that was
but
part of
that's
the
based.
reason.
Go ahead.
That was part of the reason that they tried to do it at centrally located, was so that they could
Yeah.
have some fans at each event. Right?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe Feld didn't want to do it around that they couldn't have any fans at.
Yeah.
They want at least like 20% capacity, and I believe that's why Phoenix or Glendale was chopped, because I think Glendale said, yeah, you can do your race, but we won't allow you to have any fans.
Okay. So going into 2022 or 2021, you're going to be riding. Now, have you ridden the 450s? And I know the answer to this, but for the people listening today, have you ridden 450s before? Have you done that class?
Yeah, I have. I've done it. So I started on 250Fs, and then like 2012, 2013, I got on the 450 just because financially it was easier, made more money, didn't have to build a bike, all that fun stuff. And I rode it those 2 years, and then 2014, I dropped back down to 250F, just because I wanted to try to be a little bit more competitive, and I think it was a good move. It was my first year with the Barn Pros team. They kind of was starting up there. They didn't have a semi or anything then, but it was and I kind of did a deal with them, and it worked out well. I made like 4 or 5 main events, and then stayed on 250Fs pretty much ever since then. I've dabbled in a few 450 rounds here and there in the meantime, but I've been strictly 250F pretty much since 2014 on.
So let me ask you this, and then we'll kind of go into this. I like to kind of run through your sponsors at the end and give you a chance to do that. But before we do that, you've been practicing and living down in California, and you're from Spokane originally.
Yep.
What's the scene been down in California? We know that it's been pretty locked down as far as racing is concerned, but it looks like the practice tracks and stuff have been pretty much same as always. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I go to the practice track, and it's pretty much the same as normal. Like, everyone's hanging out, or I mean, we're trying to social distance, whatever, but they're open and everyone's riding, and the practice track's been pretty busy in Supercross. It's definitely like there's probably at times 40, 50 guys on the track, so
Wow.
it's been pretty packed. And when Star Racing comes to the track, like they have like 55 guys in their own team, so it's pretty packed when they come. But it's been good. The tracks have been pretty solid. I've been going to like State Fair and Elsinore and a few other tracks, and it's been solid.
So Elsinore reopened their Supercross facility?
Yeah, yep,
Oh,
they reopened their facility, so it's been good. It's not the track that it used to be on. It's the Tedder's track. So Tedder, their lease must have been up, so now we're riding on that track.
Okay. And now, have you done Hemet?
Yeah, I've been out there, and that one's pretty good. Right now we have pretty good amount of like 3 pretty good tracks. And
now is Hemet in the same spot it used to be, or did they?
Yes.
So it's behind that house.
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
same spot.
Yeah, because I know that I thought they lost that for a while.
I don't know exactly what happened, but it was shut down for a bit. So
okay,
I don't know.
I've been seeing that. I've been watching a lot of the videos from there. It looks like Hemet's had just a ton of fast guys out there from.
Yeah.
Stewart was out there the other day, and they had. I'm blanking right now off the top of my head all the guys that I've seen out there, but a ton of fast guys have been out there railing around. So
yeah, I think everyone's trying to just mix it up. It gets kind of stagnant if you just ride the same track. So I think everyone's just trying to mix up tracks with all the 3 different local tracks we have, plus the factory guys can mix it up with their tracks. But so that's what I've been trying to do, just trying to mix it up as much as I can, because I think it's bad if you ride one track and get super good at that track, because there's no diversity there. So I think it's really good to try to ride multiple tracks.
Yeah, I totally agree. So tell us a little bit about your how can people get behind Chris Howell to help him out this year if they want to help Chris Howell?
Pretty much the easiest way would be to just DM me on like Instagram or Facebook and hit me up that way, and that would probably be the easiest way to get a hold of me. And I'm looking for all as much as I can. It's going to be interesting this year, because I'm based in SoCal right now because I've been training down here, but all the races are back east. So pretty much I go to Houston and I'll be there for a week and a half, and then I'm going to come back here, get everything ready on 2DF, like I said. But as soon as I leave for Orlando, I don't plan on coming back until after Salt Lake.
Yeah.
It just it's not feasible. Like, we have like maybe a 2-week break max. And like I don't want to take 3 days to drive back, be tired, maybe ride for a couple of days, and have to drive back 3 more days. So it just wasn't feasible. So I'm going to plan on staying back east the whole time, and it's going to be interesting. So
have you had a chance to race Daytona before?
I have, yeah. So it's fun. I like it, and it's definitely going to be interesting being a West Coast race. So
I know.
So it's going to be fun.
You couldn't put a West Coast round any farther east if you tried.
I know. And the funny thing is the furthest west the races is Salt Lake, and that's East Coast round. So it's all messed up.
It's all backwards. I know. Everyone looked for 2021 to start off with a bang, and I think it's kind of gone the wrong direction right out of the box. So
yeah.
Well, hey Chris, I really appreciate you joining the Viral Nation today and telling everybody about your program. We're stoked. We're actually pre-recording this, so this is actually happening Friday before Chris actually is leaving. You leave Monday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So Chris is going to head back Monday to Texas and start doing get ready for the Supercross down there. And we wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks, Chris. And I know that me and everybody else on the Viral Nation are going to be wishing you good luck and watching you each and every weekend.
Awesome. I appreciate it. And all the support I can get, I enjoy it.
All right. Have a good one.
Sweet. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Chris is a great guy. And, I've known Chris a long time. I helped him when he first got into Supercross way back in 2010. And I just love seeing Chris still out there every weekend, being competitive, putting it in main events. And, we just love sponsoring Chris and having Chris part of the Viral Nation. So it's pretty cool to have him still on board. And he's a Northwest kid, right? So we're a Northwest company. He's a Northwest kid. So that's pretty cool. So goggle of the week. Our goggle of the week this week is our black on black factory series goggle. $75.99 is our kit. Kit comes with an extra clear lens, 10-pack of tear-offs, and a goggle bag for $75.99. And you can order those at shop.theviralbrand.com, or you can go to your local dealership. And our local dealer this week is going to be Ormond Post, or Level 10 down in Ormond, Florida. They are our dealer of the week. So if you're in Florida, head down to them. Tell them that you heard them on the Viral Nation today. Some of the great features of this goggle, and all of our factory series goggles have the same features, but we run a little bit more aggressive curve. And the reason for that, as I pointed out in the last issue, is that it touches a little closer to your face. As you put it on, it opens up, creating a solid seal around your face, but it also then doesn't put a lot of pressure on your nose and allows the dirt to not get into your goggles, but still allows you to breathe really well. We run 4 layers of foam. There's a soft layer, which is the gray layer. There's a neoprene layer, which is in between there, which helps with sweat absorption and pulling the sweat away from your face. We then have another soft layer, and then we have our wick layer, which is this layer that actually touches your face. It's kind of the fleece layer. Ultra fleece is like what we like to call it. And that all works around the comfort and fit of the goggle. That's why we actually have what's called the Best Fit Challenge. And the Best Fit Challenge is designed to allow you to take the goggle, take it home, unbox it, and try it out at the track. You can take it out, try it out. If you got other goggles, try it with another pair of goggles. And if you don't like this goggle, you don't think it fits as well as we say it does, then you can return that goggle for a full refund. We are so confident that this is one of the best fitting goggles you'll ever put on your face that we have put this Best Fit Challenge out there, and we've had huge success with it. I think out of all the goggles we've sold over the last few years, I think we've had one returned. And I believe that when it was returned, it was actually returned for a tear-off issue. The tear-offs that were sent with it were not the right tear-offs for this goggle. They were for a Moose goggle or something like that. And so they ended up returning it through one of our .coms. So again, this goggle is a great goggle for just about every discipline: motocross, off-road, UTV, snow biking. We got double pane lenses. We got a ton of stuff. Check out the Viral Brand Factory Series goggle today at shop.theviralbrand.com, or go to our dealership locator at theviralbrand.com, click dealer locator, and you can find a dealer in your neighborhood. If not, ask them to become a dealer. We'd love to set up new dealers, and we are constantly looking for new dealers. Let's talk about lens changes. Now, we haven't quite got our goggle to the next level goggle, which is going to be our quick release lens goggle. We haven't got that done yet, and but we are working on it. Hopefully we'll have something in 2022. But this goggle, for me, it's under the $75 mark. Most of the goggles that have quick change lenses, they are typically $100 or more per for the goggles. But this goggle is a very quick and easy lens to change. So you pop it apart, you just pop the top out, lens pops out very quickly. And when you start to put the lens back in on a goggle like this, you look inside and there's a channel that runs all the way around the entire frame of the goggle. That is a contact point to hold that lens in place. And so we have one major contact point that runs all the way around the goggle. Then we also have these indents here, 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 and here that actually lock the lens into the frame. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to start on the right-hand side of the goggle, or the tear-off side of the goggle, the part that where the little nub is here, and you're going to get it into that channel, and then you're going to force it into the goggle frame this way and get as seated in there as much as you can. Then we're going to take and we're going to pull the bottom of the frame just a little bit, and we're going to click it into the bottom right here. You're going to hear that click as you do it. We're going to walk the frame around to the other side, slide that into the groove on the inside. Make sure when you look inside there that the groove is actually in the groove itself. Make sure it lines there, everything lines up, and then you're going to seat that again down into the frame first. Then you're going to pull and click again this bottom one. These two bottom ones are the most important as you're doing that. Then you're going to line up the nose into the grooves here. You're going to line up the top on the top, and once you do that, you're just going to squeeze the goggle together this way. You're going to make sure that you haven't pinched on the inside here. There's a little lip that runs on the inside of the lens. Make sure that lip is on the inside of the lens so that it keeps the dirt out. You're going to make sure you click the tops down so they're all done. And the last thing you're going to do is you're going to check these points here and here, right here on the goggle, to make sure that they are all the way seated and that there's no little gaps there where dirt can get in. That can happen. Dirt can get in through those if you don't get those seated all the way down. Once you do that, this goggle is a very, very good goggle for keeping dirt out of your eyes. It seals really well, breathes really well, and has one of the best fits in the industry. As we said, the best fit challenge. Coming up next week, we have a great show coming for you next week. We're excited about it. Each and every week, we're trying to make our show a little bit better. Next week, we're going to have Logan Mortberg on. Logan is from Florida, and he will be our guest next week. He raced Loretta's winner O's. He's been terrorizing down there in the 65 and the 85cc classes down there, and really excited to have Logan on next week's show. Again, guys, want to thank you for tuning in to episode 2. Don't forget to find us on our social right here. You can subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on MeWe, and also TikTok, and then of course right here on YouTube. So again, don't forget to check back in next week. Same bat time, same bat station. My name is Scott Steffi, host of the Viral Nation, and we will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Thanks, guys.
Wake up at 5 a.m. Gotta be at the track at 10. It's time to ride. All of this anticipation to ride in the Viral Nation.